Hello children, welcome to our English lesson. Today you are going to learn how to use the reported speech in day-to-day life. In this lesson, I am going to focus on the reported speech questions. Okay children, let's read a telephone conversation and see what's going on. So here on the screen you can see the telephone conversation. There are two characters here, Nithuli and Tarindu. Let's read the dialogue on the screen and see what's going on. You can see the dialogue on the screen and there are two characters, Nithuli and Tarindu. Hello Tarindu, it's Nithuli here. Are you busy now? Can I talk to you for a while? Hello, no I am not. It's good that you called me. I am calling you to tell you that it's cousin's birthday on Monday. Oh, I forgot it. It's great that we can start the new term with a birthday celebration. Can you pass the message to the others? Sure, I will. Are we buying a cake and candles? Before that, I think we should get the permission from our class teacher. Do you have his number? Yes, I will send it to you. By the way, how much are we going to collect from the friends? Let's prepare the list of items first and see the cost. By the way, where can we buy a cake? Well, I will ask my mother to make the cake. Okay children, now I have picked some questions from the conversation. Let's read the questions. Are you busy now? Can you pass the message to the others? Are we buying a cake and candles? Do you have his number? How much are we going to collect from the friends? Where can we buy a cake? So children, can you see any difference among these questions? Yes, I think you can clearly identify the difference. Let's read the first question. Are you busy now? So, when you are asked that question, what could be your answer? The answer could be either yes or no. So, we call them yes/no type questions. Now, look at the question in the blue bubble. Where can we buy a cake? So, this question starts with the WH question word where. So, we call them WH questions. So, my dear children, in this slide, there are two types of questions. They are WH questions and yes/no type questions. Okay, first we will see yes/no type questions. Yes/no type questions start with the auxiliaries like am, is, are, was, were, do, does, did, and also the modals such as can, could. Okay children, now after this conversation, later that evening, Fatima, a friend of Nithuli and Tarindu, met Surya. And Fatima reported what Nithuli and Tarindu talked about to Surya. Let's take the first question Nithuli asked Tarindu. The question is, are you busy now? So, look at the reported question. Nithuli asked Tarindu if he was busy then. So, children, can you see there are two parts of this statement, part A and part B. Let's see part A. Nithuli asked Tarindu. So, this is what we add to report something. Nithuli asked Tarindu. So, pay your attention to the verb there. What is the verb there? The verb is asked. So, we called it the report-in verb. So, instead of this report-in verb asked, you can also use the other report-in verbs such as told, said to, wanted to know, inquired. Okay, let's move on to part B. part B is he was busy then. So this is the question Nethuli asked Tarindu. So can you see the changes I have made in the reported question? Yes, I think you can identify some of the changes. Let's take the changes one by one. Now here you can see the direct question Nethuli asked Tarindu. Are you busy now? So the reported question is Nethuli asked Tarindu if he was busy then. Okay children, I have used 3 different colors to indicate the changes I have made to the reported question. I've used blue for the pronoun, red for the verb, and also green for the time indicator or the time phrase. So let's see them one by one. In the original question, the direct question, the pronoun is you. When it comes to the reported question, the pronoun you has become he. And also, what has happened to the verb in the direct question? The verb in the direct question is are. So, I have changed that verb into was in the reported question. And also, what are the other changes in the reported question? Yes, I think you can understand. In the direct question, the time indicator is now. So, it has changed into then in the reported question. So, once again, let's see what are the changes I have made to the reported question. The pronoun you has become he, and the verb are has become was. And also the time indicator now has been changed into then. And also children, when we convert a direct question into reported speech, we use either if or whether. So these are the changes I have made to the first question in the reported speech. Okay children. Now, I think you know how to convert a simple question into the reported question. So, these are the things you have to remember when converting direct questions into reported speech. The first thing is you have to change the pronouns. And the second one is you have to change the verb according to the tense. And also, you have to change the time indicator or the place indicator accordingly. Now, these are the changes in pronouns. So, I am not going to read all these things because it will take so much time. So, I think you have learned them in your classroom too. Let's look at the changes in the pronouns. For an example, in the direct speech, I has been changed into he or she in the indirect speech. And also, the pronoun me has been changed into him or her. And the pronoun we into they, the pronoun us into them. Likewise, it goes on. So, I think you can understand. And these are the changes in the tense. So, you have learnt them in your class. The simple present tense in the direct speech becomes simple past tense in the indirect speech. And also, the present continuous tense changes into past continuous tense. And the present perfect, simple past and past perfect tenses change into past perfect in the indirect speech. Okay. Then, these are the changes in time and place. So, by reading this, you can understand them. In the direct speech, today, when it comes to the indirect speech, it has changed into that day. The yesterday has become the previous day or the day before. Accordingly, tomorrow has become the following day or the day after. Okay, children. Likewise, you can leisurely study this table and try to memorize those changes, right? And also you have to pay your attention to these words as well. Will in the direct speech becomes would in the indirect speech. Can becomes could, may becomes might, must becomes must or had to, and ought to remains as the same in the indirect speech ought to. Okay children, now let's look at an example. The first example has been done for you in the previous slide. Let's look at the second one. Can you pass the message to the others? So here, pay your attention to the modal verb can in the direct question. What has happened to that modal verb can in the indirect question? It is changed as could here. So, here also I have used the same color code. So, it is clear for you to understand the changes. So, the pronoun in the direct question is you. It has become she in the indirect question. Let's see another examples. Read the example first. Are we buying a cake and candles? So, the reported question is, Nethuli asked Tarindu whether they were buying a cake and candles. So, here the pronoun we in the direct question has become they in the indirect question. And also the verb are buying, it is in the present continuous tense in the indirect question. So, it has been changed into were buying, the past continuous tense. Let's look at another example. Do you have his number? So, the reported speech is Tarindu asked Nethuli if she had his number. Here also the pronoun you has been changed into she and the verb have changed into had in the reported speech. Okay children, now let's do a small activity where you can practice simple questions. Look at the screen now. This is Jane. Jane asked some questions. Let's read the questions. Jane asked, is it cold outside today? Do you like chocolates? Can you prepare tea? Are you tired now? Okay children, now take your time and try to convert these questions into the reported speech. Okay children, now I think you have completed your task. Shall we check your answers then? Here I have taken the first question Jane asked. Is it cold outside today? So here also I have used the same color code for you to understand it clearly. Look at the verb in the direct question. It is. So when it becomes to the reported question, the verb has been changed as was. And there in the direct question, the pronoun is it. What has happened to the pronoun? The pronoun it remains as it is in the indirect question. And pay your attention to the time indicator today. Today has been changed as that day in the reported question. So, the reported question is Jane asked mother whether it was cold outside that day. Let's look at another question. Do you like chocolates? Here also the pronoun you has been changed into she in the reported speech. And also the verb like, it is in the present tense. It has been changed into liked in the indirect question. So, Jane asked mother if she liked chocolates. Okay children, look at the next question. Can you prepare tea? Jane asked mother if she could prepare tea. Now pay your attention to the modal there. What is the modal in the direct question? It is can. So that modal has been changed into could in the indirect question. And also the pronoun you has been changed as she. Look at the next one also. Are you tired now? The indirect question is Jane asked mother if she was tired then. Here also you can identify what are the changes. The pronoun you has been changed into she, and the verb are, which is in the present tense, has been changed into was there, and also the time indicator now has been changed into then. Okay children, now I am repeatedly telling you that these are the changes you have to do when reporting someone's utterance. First, you have to change the pronoun accordingly. Then you have to think about the tense or the verb according to the tense. And also you have to pay your attention to the time indicator as well as the place indicator according to the situation. So, now look at the screen. These are the questions I have taken from the previous conversation. Look at these questions. How much are we going to collect from the friends? Where can we buy a cake? So children, can you see any difference in these questions? Are they similar to the earlier ones? No, they are different. Because these two questions start with the WH question words how much and where. So earlier I told you we call them what? We call them WH questions. Now let's see how to convert WH questions to reported speech. I have taken the first question. Where can we buy a cake? So here children, I have used a different color to indicate the WH question word. So in the direct question, the WH question word is where. Let's read the reported speech question. Tarindu asked Nethuli where they could buy a cake. So here, the WH question word where has become the same WH question in the reported speech. So we can use the same WH question word instead of if or whether. Here we don't use if or whether, we can use the same WH question in the reported speech. Now see the other changes. The pronoun in the direct question is we. So when it comes to the indirect question or the reported question, the pronoun we has been changed as they. And also the modal can, you know that what has happened to can? Can has become could in the reported speech. Okay, now let's take the other sentence. How much are we going to collect from the friends? So here also the WH question word is how much. So here in the reported speech we used the same WH question in the middle. Tarindu asked Nethuli how much they were going to collect from the friends. So what are the other changes in the question? Yes, I think you can notice them. The pronoun in the direct question is we, and it has been changed as they in the reported question. And also the verb are going, it is in the present continuous tense in the direct question. It has been changed into were going, which is the past continuous tense in the reported speech. Okay children, now I think you have a clear idea about how to convert the direct questions into indirect questions. Now it's the activity time. So on the screen you can see an activity. Let's read it. Situm meets Oneli on his way to the airport. Complete the paragraph according to their conversation in reported speech. So, this is the dialogue between Oneli and Situm. You have to read it by yourself and you have to complete the paragraph according to the conversation in reported speech. So, the other part of the dialogue is here between Oneli and Situm. And my dear children, this is the activity you have to do. You have to read the conversation again and try to fill in those gaps using reported speech. I know it is very difficult to remember the whole dialogue. So, I have divided it into two parts to make it clear. So, here there are 3 blanks and I have given you the questions relevant to those blanks. Situm meets Oneli on his way to the airport. She asked Situm, number 1 blank, again. He answered India. Then she asked him, number 2 blank. Again she asked, number 3 blank, was. These are the relevant questions you have to focus on. Situm wanted to know about Oneli. So he asked her where, number 4 blank. As she replied she is working at the airport, Situm asked her number 5 blank on a shift. Here also you can see the relevant questions. So by looking at these questions, you can find the answers. I hope you have completed the task. Let's see your answers. Situm meets Oneli on his way to the airport. She asked Situm whether he was flying to Canada again. He answered India. Then she asked him how often he travelled overseas. Again she asked what time the flight was. Situm wanted to know about Oneli, so he asked her where she was going. As she replied she was working at the airport, Situm asked her how long she had to work on a shift. Okay children, now I hope you have got all corrected. So these are some of the activities you can do at home leisurely. Activity 14, workbook page 46. Activity 4, workbook page 31. Activity 14 in the pupils book page 86. Okay children, today we have discussed how to convert direct questions into reported speech. So I think you learnt it clearly. So hope you have enjoyed today's lesson with me. Hope to see you soon again. Goodbye.